What's up, everybody? I'm John Salter, and welcome to Switch 2 News Live, the only uncut, unedited, and unfortunately for everyone involved, unrehearsed Switch 2 news show on the YouTube. Guaranteed to bring you the latest Switch 2 news in 5 minutes. If you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future video releases. My producer, Mikey Mike, has ripped the latest Switch 2 news from the headlines, scribbled them on the note cards, and has delivered them to my desk for me to deliver to you. Our first story tonight, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond ESRB rating released. So this is pretty awesome because what it tells us is the game content is complete. If you look down the eShop previous, it said, I believe, something like ESRB rating pending. Now you're going to see the actual ESRB rating because the rating has been given, which means game content is complete, which means the game can be released at any time, depending on what Nintendo's game plan is. So if you hear anything about when it's going to be released or people giving an exact date, just speculation, but Nintendo has committed to a 2025 release, so we should be seeing that bad boy between now and Christmas, which that's a Christmas present for me. If it's released tomorrow or if it's released one day for Christmas, Merry Christmas to me, because I've been waiting for that game. That's going to be great, and all the Metroids are awesome, so I can't wait to see the next iteration of the Metroid Prime universe. Great story, Mike and Mike. We kind of knew that was a thing, but hey, we want to give that news. I really have specifically been not talking about Metroid Prime 4 because I wanted to get a little bit more solid information. So Mikey knew that. He got the story out. All right, our next story is an update from a previous story. Elden Ring is a better game docked. Mikey, you need to really get a better punch into those headlines. Elden Ring, better gameplay docked. All right, so hey, it is what it is. That's what's going on. So yesterday we reported that the reports out from people who played the game was that Elden Ring is a complete disaster. And the only thing that I read in any of these articles and long-winded reviews were that the frame rate's dropping to around 20 frames a second, which I guess in this day and age is a big deal. I don't consider that a disaster. And it was also reported that it was only in handheld mode. Docked mode had not been played yet, seen, reviewed, whatever. Now we're starting to hear that docked mode looks like it plays good. So this is kind of a win. Not this particular situation. Obviously, game playing great in dock mode and a game playing great handheld mode is a win. But it's a win in general for the Switch because there are going to be plenty of games that are going to tax the Switch's system and probably put the hurt on it in handheld mode, because handheld mode has to run at a lower wattage because of the battery. Lower wattage means your CPU, your GPU, all those things, all those components aren't going to be able to run at their full potential. So in handheld mode, you're going to get a lesser experience than you would in dock mode. So it's nice to see that in dock mode, the game looks to be playing well. And what I'm getting at here is that this is why I believe the Switch 2 and the Switch, they sold so well. You have all your Nintendo games. We already know that. But we can play docked, undocked. We can go handheld. So we can get a better experience, if need be, docked, just like you would on a regular console connected to your TV. But we can also pull it out and play it undocked. And the majority of the games play well undocked. You can't do that with any console, whether it be an Xbox or PS5. Let's say you pull out your PS5 and just start playing it. Like I got my Switch, it's in a case. But let's say you play your PS5 like this, right? It's not happening. So it's a win. This is why the Switch is awesome. I don't want to get into a lot of personal opinions here because it is supposed to be the unbiased news. So anyway, back to Elden Ring. It looks like you're going to get a good experience when playing it docked. You're going to get a little lesser experience playing handheld, which is kind of what you're going to get with the Switch, And who knows, down the road, as these games get ported, we might get better ports that enhance the game in a way to where it can play, i.e. Cyberpunk. That game is a taxing game on the Switch, but it plays well. Our next story, an update to another previous story. Chibi Robo is now available on the eShop online with expansion. So we reported that it's coming to the eShop. Now it's actually there. So if you have a Switch 2 online with expansion, you can play the GameCube games and you can play Chibi Robo. That's pretty much it. Other than the fact that, remember, that is a paid service. Anybody who doesn't know, you can't just jump online with your Nintendo Online and play that game. The GameCube requires the paid service. Some of the other old consoles are included with online, but not GameCube. So Chibi Robo, get up there and play it. Our next story, this is a great story. I'm actually shocked, Mikey Mike, that you actually included this as a news story, and I'm glad you did, probably because you know how I think. So let's get to the story. Enhanced release of, all right, I'm going to sidetrack here again. I don't know how hell you pronounce this game. I've been in the gaming world for years. I've been playing games since they existed. Yes, that's how old I am, video games. I work for a company called Video Game Exchange. I manage multiple stores. I did multiple back-end stuff. I've been buying, selling, trading, playing, and everything for games. And to this day, I don't know how you pronounce this game. It's spelled Y''S. Now, we used to call it Y's back in the day until some nerd came in and chastised us in the store one day and said it's Yeez. So I'm going to go with Yeez because I don't want the nerds all over me sending me emails and flaming me. So enhanced release of Yeez X Nordics will skip PS5 in favor of the Switch 2. I am loving this story because I love the drama. Personally, I don't care about game systems. I care about games. Now, certain systems have games that I gravitate to playing on. That's why the Switch is kind of what I gravitate to these days. And I'm not as hardcore as I used to be, where I have every system hooked up and play them all the time. So I really don't care. My line has always been, I don't care if Black & Decker, and I don't know if that's even a company anymore, so now we're going to go with DeWalt. I don't care if DeWalt makes a game system. If it's got bomb games on it, I'm buying the system and I'm going to play it. I don't care. But I gravitate to Nintendo systems these days. So I don't really care what system the game is on. But I know there are people out there, and the people on the Switch side and the PS5 side are going to be battling back and forth here, giving whatever excuses or, versions of why the game is on the system, blah, blah, blah. But this is awesome that it's skipping the PS5 because I get to see people cry about it. Anywho, so a little bit of a story behind this. To me, it kind of proves the hype of the Switch 2 and that third-party developers are on Switch 2 and they're prioritizing Switch 2. That's the real story here. The Switch 2 is getting priority over the PS5. Why? It's the flavor of the month. It's a new release. It's out. It's the fastest selling system on release in video game history. There's just a lot of things going for it at this point, and we're already and it's powerful enough to play games that it couldn't play before. So we're getting priority from third-party developers here. Now, I don't know if Yeez would be considered a top-tier title, that it's completely shocking that it's skipping a certain game system. And that particular game, to me, always, when I see it, screams Nintendo. Because back in the day, that game was a Super Nintendo game. You didn't really see it on Genesis or any other systems. It just seemed like that's the type of game you get on Super Nintendo. Then when the PlayStation came out, you started seeing a lot of these more RPG games, all went to the PlayStation because, of course, Nintendo was slipping a little bit back then. But I do see this as a Nintendo game, so I wasn't shocked at this, but I did get a kick out of it, and I know that's probably why Mikey Mike put it in the stories. And it does, the main thing to take here is it shows Switch 2 priority. It shows that developers are saying, hey, Switch 2, we're going to give that some games, and we might just wait on another system because we know we're going to straight get paid if we put it on the Switch 2 because of that user base. And that's awesome. That's what I like to hear. I don't like to hear, honestly, that games are available on one system and not another, but that's just a fact of life in the gaming world. So do what you got to do, but nice to know Switch 2 is getting some priority. And, we're already to the game portion, the games on sale portion of the broadcast. We are almost to the end here. So we scaled this back a little bit because we had way too many games in we're going over the 5 minutes every newscast, which I'm sure we're over 5 minutes now. But let's get to it. Games on sale. We're going to rehash a few games and a couple new ones in the mix right here. So Super Mario RPG Physical. Now it's a Switch 1 game, and I know we do talk a lot about Switch 1 games on the games for sale because that library is big and they can play on the Switch 2, and a lot of them are enhanced. So anyway, Switch 1, Super Mario RPG Physical on Woot for $34.99. $34.99 on Woot. I do not know what region that is. Woot will sell out of region games. Depending, I'm sure it's a website the whole world can go to. So obviously there's going to be some regions, but I'm from the US, so that's what I gravitate to. So check the region when you get on there on Woot to see what you're purchasing. But $34.99 on Woot, that is an Amazon company, so it is trustworthy, so don't be scared to buy it there. And Walmart.com, $39.99. Super Mario RPG, $39.99 on Walmart, $34.99 on Woot. You can't walk in and buy that at Walmart. That is online price only, but you should be able to get it next day or delivered, even if you don't have the super duper Walmart, whatever they call it. You can just, because I canceled that subscription and I still got my Yoshi next day. All right, what's up next here? Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. This was on our big sale game of the day on one of our newscasts, but I completely blew it. This is a physical game, physical, not digital, like I stated previously, and it's $26.48 on Amazon, $29.99 on Best Buy, both physical. So Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, grab that while you can. And the big one, the grand finale of games on sale for this edition of Switch 2 News Live is Amazon physical copy Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition for... Mikey Mike didn't put the price on the card. Classic. But luckily I know, because I'm the one who puts the game part together, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition, $29.99. Amazon.com physical, and it totally threw me off. There's no price on here. Amazon physical edition, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy. All right, let's start over. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition, Amazon physical, $29.99. That's going to do it. Hope to see you on the next episode. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified of future videos, and I'll see you on the next news show. Peace. Like a Mikey Mike.